Part.11 Alineeers.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy CrazeBase98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHGCommunity. Welcome back to some Borderlands 3. We're going to continue on from where we're at. We're probably going to do some side missions today and part of the regular story mission. First of all, I know this is probably going to be off topic to the game that I am speaking about. But I want to go ahead and put this in a little bit of an idea of what people don't get, because I've been seeing a lot of reviews, I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers upset about this and that, and it kind of makes me question left and right, because it's like it makes no sense to me. So let me put it out there. The Last of Us 2. Okay, I've gotten to play the game. I've gotten to see, you know, most of the game. Sadly, I was only playing it at a friend's place to a point where, you know, I was just playing like just a little bit of it. I got a little taste of the gameplay. I thought the gameplay was great. I saw through the whole story. I thought the whole story was great. I thought it was a good game overall. Out of a game, I give it like probably a 4 out of 5 for the gameplay, and like, you know, everything with the story and the graphics. It looks great. My problem is, I'm gonna do the rise and grind, by the way. My problem is this, that I'm seeing a lot of reviews from, you know, people who are YouTubers, people who are, you know, who have played the game, and I'm looking at it and I'm kind of baffled on like some of the things that they're saying. Now, in regards to some people gotta understand that, like, you know, there were leaks of the game from the beginning, which, you know, shows a little bit about the game, which, you know, it's a bad thing, and it sucks that somebody went ahead and got the leaks out. First of all, whoever did the leaks, shame on you. Majorly shame on you. And I hate the idea of, you know, people leaking out stuff. You know, like, that's not your place to leak out anything. That's not your place to do anything about that. That's something that you should not have done. And the fact that somebody did that is sad. Now, when it came to the game got majorly bombed. And it's because apparently it's based on who the guy is, or like who made the game, which is or who wrote the story. Now, there was a guy named Neil Druckmann who wrote the whole story based on you know, with another person on the whole Last of Us 2.
Let me get some
now,
super blast.
here's my thing. This is a guy who was part of the Uncharted series. This was a guy who was part of things like you know, the first Last of Us.
Of course, but it's okay.
So it kind of makes sense.
Okay.
Now,
There's a Malawan.
I hear, like, from a lot of people that there was a push of SJW stuff, which is absolutely wrong. Majorly, if you play the game, there is no push of that. Reason being is because a lot of people tend to think about stuff that make no sense. Tend to talk about and complain about things
I used to say things like, "I'll kill anyone who talks
on,
to me before I've had my coffee." But now I
you know, on the game that were already there. Like, for instance, there was things like, you know, I would say there was things that Ellie was already lesbian, you know, LGBT. That's a thing. People were kind of upset with the whole thing with Abby, you know, with her design, saying that is like some muscular transgender, which is absolutely wrong too. Come on, people, we gotta be a little bit smarter with our complaints here. Now, with that, you know, I try to figure out why was everybody upset about the game. You know, it was basically about that stuff, because the SJW thing, like, about the characters and the story was absolutely wrong. The guy who is the developer is a man who happens to be SJW. But you know, just because a SJW person works on something doesn't mean it's the whole product is going to be SJW. Let's just be real. Like for instance, a lot of people think in this world that Trump supporters are fucking racist. Not true. A lot of people in this world think that, you know, certain people, let's say for like Black Lives Matter, are just rioters destroying, you know, different types of things, such as in regards to like properties. That's not true, especially for being one who also protested. Like it's kind of weird because you have people who don't look on that side of the spectrum. You have those people just complaining about it. You just have those people just not understanding about it. It really makes no sense when it comes to that. So I wondered, what was the major thing that people actually complained about? It couldn't be the gameplay. The gameplay was obviously good. Nobody really complained about the gameplay. Nobody really complained about the design of it. So I had to lead to the story. So I was like, okay, what about the story is bad? You know? I didn't understand the story. I didn't understand what the story was bad. I understood it 100%. So I find out that it's because of the way, you know, someone specifically dies. You know, that's spoilers. So I'm thinking, really? This is what we're upset about? Like, we're upset about every other... We're upset about that. It could have been anything else. It could have been just like, you know, there's holes in the story compared to the first one. There's this and that being done to the first one. You could have said anything else. But with that, you know, with things like, oh, because of a specific character dying in a specific way, you're upset about it. Why? That makes no sense to me. People don't get to choose which way a character dies. That's for the writer. That's not for nobody else to choose. If you think it's bad that a character dies in a specific way, then I don't understand for you. Because a lot of people say that's bad writing. First of all, people who talk about this don't know about writing.
Oh hey, it's you again.
Don't know about nothing of that. Because a lot of people would go ahead and believe, like, people like Angry Joe, or anybody like PewDiePie or anything like that, who are still gonna possibly play the game, who played the full game, which is, I'm glad that they did. But also
Oh man, no can do. We're like
won't complain about anything else, won't put in any effort of the gameplay or the graphics. It's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like me who I said the gameplay is great. I like the design. I thought the story was alright. Me who did that. Me who is, you know, playing the game, who talks about it. But then I don't give an overall, you know, look of the game itself. Like, if I'm gonna judge on a game, I can't judge on a game just based on the story alone. If the story alone is what makes you stop playing a game, and then you just don't think about the graphics or even like, you know, the gameplay, things like that is a major thing. Things like that is a huge thing. Like, those are all ways of trying to make a game better. Graphics, you know, gameplay, story. If you just base it on one thing that apparently makes the game terrible, then it really is really hard to take a criticism seriously. It really is. So it gets to a point where it's like, why should we, or why should anybody in the gaming industry actually take that seriously? Like, that doesn't, it makes it a lot more difficult for people to even want to take the fans seriously, who care about the game. Now, there are people out there that love the game. Great. Now, my issue is that when people love the game, they also get trashed about it. They shouldn't. When people don't like the game, like for a specific reason, if they have a proper way of not liking the game, and there is a proper way because of the fact that things like that need a specific way to, I would say things like that need a way to be able to, I would say just like be able to, like, you know, be criticized. It's hard to take a criticism seriously when it's just that, oh, the story is bad and you're saying that it's only because of one person dying. It really doesn't make no sense to that, because that's not an overall idea of why the story is bad. If someone said like, oh, the story did not hit me like it did for the first one, then you know what, that is fine. I could take that, because they know about the first story, they know about all of that. But then at one point, it just makes no sense. It doesn't help out anybody to get a better product when you just say it's bad because of that. Now, going back to how a certain person dies, it's ridiculous. I don't understand why you are upset because a certain person dies in a certain way. If you have played things like The Walking Dead, like especially by the Telltale series, there was certain things from people like, you know, people like Lee, the main character, who has done bad things. Which even tells, because you have interactions about him doing bad things. So it's like literally one, like, it gets on my nerve to a point with that. It's just that, like, somebody does something bad, right? Apparently, you know, something comes back to haunt them because of that. All of a sudden, you know, people are upset because that happened. Why? Why are you guys upset because that happened? One, it's a post-apocalyptic world. Anything could literally happen to anybody, any type of way. Nobody cares about, you know, what your feelings are in post-apocalyptic world, to a point where it's like they'll kill you in any manner they wish. As you can see, like, a lot of people did not complain about the gameplay or even, you know, the design. Why not? It's weird. You were just complaining on how the story is. People were like, oh, you don't kill off a loved, beloved character like that. That is not true. Walking Dead, how Glenn died. Glenn was extremely loved. Extremely loved. And he was killed.
Is taking so long?
Whatever, man. You can't rush perfection.
Just let the bot do his work. It'll be so,
it's just ridiculous on that. So that's my thing about it. What I say,
And you're welcome.
with people saying that it's like people are returning it because of that, like they're returning it because of the story, I'd say, one, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Lorelai, I hear you and I super understand.
I find it ridiculous.
Hey, we've all got our vices.
So I'm just saying, it's like, you know, there's a major thing that people need to understand, you know? You need to understand that maybe it's not just the story, it's just you being a little bit nitpicky on it. I find that to be very nitpicky. A lot of characters have died in certain areas and certain ways for that to happen, you know? But I think people are just going a little bit too far with being upset because of someone dying in a specific way. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I can find that absolutely ridiculous.
Ah, bollocks! Malawan's here.
So that's just me on it. But as I said, everybody has their opinion on the game, specifically. I just, as a person who wants to go ahead and make a video game, as a person who wants to be able to make a game that is is worth people playing it, that is worth, you know, people liking it. I want to be able to do things in regards to making a good story, making a good gameplay. You know what? That's what I want to do. But if people are going to go ahead and base my whole game based on story, not on the gameplay, not on anything, not on, like, you know, anything based on like graphics, like, I want an overall review of this. I can't make a game even twice as better than the first one, twice as better than the second one, without an overall review. You know, I can't do nothing about that. That won't work for me, especially for someone who wants to make these. I need an overall review. So that's just me. Based on who Neil Druckmann is, now I'm gonna tell you, I do not like Neil Druckmann. First of all, Neil Druckmann has a major history on criticizing people's work, where at one point he has no place of criticizing. I don't like, because at one point the idea of, you know, where he says the gaming industry is over-sexualizing women. First of all, I can make a design on any character I wish. I don't give a damn about that. Any character in gaming, any character in any type of area can be over-sexualized if the writer chooses. Especially in places like, you know, anime or like certain Japanese games, the women tend to be over-sexualized. Some of them are muscular, some of them are in any different area. That's just my problem with it. I don't understand the idea that, you know, just because someone goes ahead and puts an idea and says that women are over-sexualized in certain games is a terrible thing. I think, first of all, like, he has no place of telling who is who, what is what, why is why, or how something should be created. Neil Druckmann is not in any position to go ahead and criticize people like Silent Wolf, or criticize works such as, you know, made by Hideo Kojima, where Hideo Kojima is probably one of the biggest names in the gaming industry. That's just straightforward. He has no place at all to go ahead and to be upset or to talk about somebody's work when most of the work he's done is not even as good as those he is complaining about. Let's be real. When it comes to people like Neil Druckmann and Hideo Kojima, or people working on the Halo series who make Cortana, or people who worked on things like Dead or Alive, Neil Druckmann is still just a newbie compared to those people. That guy is, a writer, not a designer. It's kind of hard where someone in the designing area who is going to criticize others of their hard work, but then when people don't like your product, you know, like some of the people in Last of Us didn't like The Last of Us, when people don't like it, then you get upset. That's how it is. That's how it is. The difference between me and Neil Druckmann not liking the people who criticize it is just that Neil Druckmann will take anybody who actually properly criticize it and probably gets upset about it and probably, you know, critiques it and still call them bad. I just don't agree with the people that just think it's bad because of the story, because the story didn't go the way that they wish. There's a big difference. I don't agree with people who just think it's a bad thing because of only story. But when people go ahead and criticize it based on the real gameplay and real everything, that's where, you know, Neil Druckmann has that problem, and Neil Druckmann needs to go ahead and figure that shit out. Alright guys, but this was a little bit of a rant on stuff like that, and you got a little bit of gameplay for Borderlands 3, this part of the story. We're gonna probably not go off topic next time, but this is something I thought I have to go ahead and put out there. Definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn on your notifications when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel. Make sure to subscribe to our moderator, support our sponsors. Make sure to definitely go ahead and check out our merchandise. But this is your boy CrazyMaze98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community. And stay tuned for another episode of Borderlands 3.